which alleviates a little bit of pressure for Sean to actually perform as the entry fragger too. So if both of these players activate, NRG is still going to be on a very tough match, but there's, like I said, they're still looking very good in this series versus Gen.G, unfortunately, for Gen.G.
So we're on the lookout to see what kind of tendencies we can gauge from Gen.G here. You may not see too much information here early, but Dimonder's already made his way so far up mid that he gets an easy paranoia here in towards tree.
Might not even need it. This Aldrill's not going to spawn anybody, so they could just walk through and play contact. So the NRG is playing that same style. One person inside the site with daps with the camera, 4 players stacked towards B, play the retake.
Interesting though that NRG really leave mid clear. Like Gimon gets to turn his back set in cubby there, and there's no shoulder peek, no nothing from NRG to spot him out. Som eventually is going to come across him, and I mean, Dimonder's going to be
make that all
on all sides. Yeah. Booster. Okay, spots this shoulder peek, trying to back away. Wonders what he can do. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't get pinched there from Garden, and the door comes down. This is time being bought for Gen.G to get ready. That's the hit. Sean with 2 headshots on Shanks and EU, but Android fires back with 2 of his own, and now the 1v3 was very short-lived. Android again. That man is hungry.
I told you, if Android could keep popping off like he did versus FaZe, this is going to be a very tough match for Gen.G. I do like where Gimon was at, where he was trying to lurk out a little bit to play a late retake or a late bait, should I say, because he had a player already on catwalk. But he did not expect 2 players to also swing by the link. And that's probably another reason why NRG only played 1 person and leave mid all the way open. Because the way that they rotate out, they double up on B to link, they double up on market, and 4 players rotate through the sliding door. Because when a door usually closes on pistol round and you play a pulse plant from the site or front A, technically that tree side should be or open or maximum 1 player in there for you to capitalize on the retake.
Quinn very quick there, standing on top of the hot hand, and Android's able to burn him down. Crispy. And a 4v4, and the spike's going to get towards the side here pretty comfortably, Sean. Yeah, he'll wait here, I'm sure, along with Gimon. Maybe they can get up and towards heaven. Booster is just going to face this as the smoke clears, so this might be more than a one and done here, because Android's the only player that's being left up there. He drops down. I mean, no one checks the right. Oh my God. And no one checks the right, he gets 2.
How is this doable? It's a 4v1 and even a round for Sean. Capitalize on a triple and giving a round for Gen.G on a post plant. The retake play this time for NRG did not pay off because of that one and done, as you mentioned, from where Kusta was at here, Uber. Also gave them that information that, hey, they're not actually doing any type of noise whatsoever on that catwalk. Get ready for a tree, Sean. And Sean has the off angle, has a frenzy close range, melts faces. And that's the thing. Still having Arena, 2 orbs on the ground, he doesn't even use them yet. Because why? He's still at full HP. If he wants to dismiss, if there's a 3rd guy, he could dismiss once, he could dismiss twice. So for me, seeing Arena getting dropped off in picks, okay. But I could still understand that she's still very viable. You just have to use her orbs more smartly into these rounds.
Or not at all, as was the case there for for Shorty. Exactly. Didn't need them. Bear in mind, that means that that brings up the Empress, you know, for Sean. But again, not really the most hot button ultimate. Crucially, runner back is available for NRG, but this just may not be around with a, well, it's not going to be used here. Android gets a move through the middle part of the map. And the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about with Gen.G is that historically their defense on Ascent has actually been really poor. I think they have a 39% round win rate on this particular map. So if I'm watching them and if I'm actually playing the numbers game, I hope to see them have a very strong attacking side, because this is the dodgiest map in their pool by far.
Yeah. The thing is, for me, looking at all these teams right now, is unfortunately Som is going to die from Gimo, is that all of these teams moving into Challengers 2, I'm not paying too much attention to what happened in their record in the past. Just due to the fact that playstyles have changed, compositions have changed, a new patch came out, the Stinger meta is done. All that kind of stuff is, it turns into a clean slate, moving into Challengers 3, and also moving into Masters when Astra is going to be in play. So right now, you're looking at brand new playbooks with some small tweaks here and there, and see how they tweak versus their old playstyle. And for Gen.G, they were very readable on how predictable they were on the attacker side before. But this time, on the attacker side, they're still taking some great map control versus NRG.
Again, here's that pace from Gen.G that we never saw before, but they really start to rely on now. Already out onto the B side, really no chance for NRG to get any of that defensive utility up. Contact play looks really good, and run it back gets absolutely nothing.
That is so aggressive and so good. I saw the dark cover. I'm assuming that's coming in from the defender side, just so they can hide from leers, from recon darts, from flashes, whatsoever. But they're still running into that smoke for Gen.G and just brings that fight straight up where Gimo swiped down that the site, and also NRG are looking to save the last 3 weapons.
It definitely feels like there was a turn of pace that NRG weren't expecting in that round. And the Empress there, I mean, to be fair, one of the best applications of that ultimate there as a deterrent perhaps from NRG, who take the fact that they were able to buy into this round quite seriously and don't want to squander these hard bought weapons. Shoulder pick there. Okay, nicely done. Som was going to be able to get away with his gun there just because he was cautious. And NRG just want to try and forget that one as quickly as possible, because that is just, you can chalk that one down to Gen.G being way too fast for them to catch.
And they also invested in an operator, so it does make sense that you want to try to save these weapons into this round here. Only Das is going to be the one that's going to have to have a lower buy, so he's going to go with the Spectre. They don't have that much in terms of getting into these ultimates, and not really into any position where they should fight for ultimate orbs. So now you see them playing a little bit more aggressive towards this B side, with Shanks opting towards that area, and the rest can focus towards a mid-side pressure, because you know that Gimo or anybody else could be lurking towards that mid-side, usually for Gen.G.
That dark cover, the A main, is not enough from Som to stop Gen.G from inching towards A. And it is a very loosely held site for NRG, that's to say the least. Som, yep, he has to Shrouded step away because that Leer means it's impossible for him to peek out into the open anyway. Again, Gen.G assure themselves a post-plant scenario with 5 players standing. This time, NRG don't have the luxury of running off and saving their guns, Silly.
Yeah, now they're going to break that door open, and we're even grabbing our camera back, so we lost a bit of time. Daps had to run all the way down towards mid because they want to use that camera on this retake, but he's going to have to hurry up here. It's a 5-on-5, that clock is ticking down.
Oh, Shanks! Okay, he gets near side of there, hit with the paranoia. Sean pops up and takes his head off. Android curveball around his wall, and we get to somehow Android against the odds coming up with these double kills. Kusta, though, playing from hell. Secures the 2v2 and now has to clutch. There's not much time left, though, and almost finds Som with the spray through. And Som's able to get there with a defuse with a paltry 23 points of health. This time, NRG, they take the risk, they go for that retake, they have to. And it's again Android, who just gets these unlikely double kill scenarios, these multi-kills where he really shouldn't be getting any.
Yeah, Android with the 2K was beautiful, and the other thing is, Daps, you're kind of lucky and happy that you had to waste a bit of time to pick up your camera towards B main, because those few seconds that you lost allowed for you to get this backstep onto A main, as you had Mikael trying to go for that recon dart to get that information. And you spray out the spray. I think the retake was beautiful there for NRG, and we're going to have this back and forth game. Looking at how fast they're getting into the sites, I wouldn't be surprised if even this goes to like the last round of regulation. Well, we've only had 30 minutes time in terms of play, because this is very fast-paced right now for Gen.G.
Yeah, these rounds are not being stretched out. And Gen.G, a team who used to use all 90 seconds, or more than that, rather.
Yeah.
Now they made their move pretty early in that last round, but it got them a post-plant at the very least. It's about their resilience, though, to NRG's attempts to retake that we're really going to be scrutinizing here. This is slower, though. Shanks sticks around, and Kusta just waddles into the crosshairs.
And that's what you want, right? He was posted up there before at B main, couldn't get any information. This time he's going to try again. And by getting that first kill from Kusta, this gives an opportunity for NRG to start placing their operator at different spots in these rounds.
Quinn was maybe trying to get further towards Jenny than he did. Instead gets caught. There's a player in tree, and EU now can step up, but that is brutal. EU's ready for the fight there. Sean's able to dismiss away, but only has 6 bullets left in the chamber. 5 make it. Spike in hand, here's that reload, but a 1v4 with a Reyna does have 1 soul orb consumption available. But no Leer, no teammates, 30 seconds left. Not to be.
And that's one of those moments where playing as EU so close to that Leer is good enough, because you don't shoot it out, you're close enough where you're even more nearsighted to be able to make a couple of silhouettes, but at the same time, while you're nearsighted with the Leer,
Did he hit the drone in midair?
Yeah. That's just unfortunate.
Unbelievable. Otherwise, Quinn gets across the side and actually can't be shot at all from tree.
Yeah, he gets on Jenny.
Listen, I mean, it could be worse. You know what happens when actual aircraft run into birds? It's even worse. So he was lucky to at least have a chance to fight for his life there. But air traffic control really didn't have that one covered.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
But yeah, definitely
Jeez.
just trying to finish there with the leer. You could also see the recoil shots. So as you're near side, close range enough against your buddies, or against your opponents rather, you could get those 2 kills like EU just did.
Win with the knives. It's over to Wine to sample the vintage before Gen.G commit to this. Here's that pace that we've been talking about. Again, NRG with a loose grip on this site tend to have to give it up. Once more, I'm interested to see how much Gen.G save for this retake attempt here. There's so much for Gen.G to work with. Both teams have, 7 ultimates between the 2 of them.
And it starts off right now, so it's going to be a mess as soon as this wall comes down here, Uber.
I like Android's style there. Again, we see teams do that with a Sage wall, actually. Just throw the Blaze wall across and give himself a chance to, peek towards heaven without getting shot from the site or hell itself. And a 4v2 now, and NRG a little bit out of gas here. Shanks is the one solitary knife, and he's going to use it for a shave instead.
Yeah, so that's going to be 2 saves coming in for NRG. They're going to try to hunt him down. Should be okay right now from what I see in these positions, but still it's going to be a 4-3 scoreline, and this is Telegraph. When we talk about Telegraph Gen.G, one of those moments when Gwyn is going to get those knives out, if it's going to be a little bit of footsteps being heard towards A main, just count or be confident, that there's going to be Cloudburst and a dash into the site with those knives. And what I like what Gwyn does usually is he actually pings where he's going to drop those smokes and ping them close enough so that he could actually get the dash into any of the Cloudbursts. So instead of just putting 1 into the ground sometimes into the sites when he dashes in, he puts 2, 3 so that the defenders could still have to guess which one he's going to go into, and that displaces their crosshair placement to allow the rest of NRG or Gen.G to get in for these picks.
It's the Magic Cup game, right? Which cup is which cup is the coin under? You have to kind of guess there.
Exactly.
Sometimes the luck of the draw. Sean's able to get a kill and dismisses forward for info, gets nothing, and then they try and bite off more than they can chew. He was there for 2.
Are they ulting away to A? Yeah. So he might lurk it out here, but the thing is, Daps is towards A main where they don't know, so he could still backstab.
Okay, so Gimong, if he has dark cover, 5 seconds, he can probably throw that. I think he's expecting Kusta to be there.
Yeah, the thing is, even if he dark covers it, Daps is going to have an even better angle hiding in the dark cover right after.
Well, looks like they definitely knew the Cypher would be lying in wait there. So now, and then another short-handed retake attempt here. Another opportunity for Som to show his brilliance, and he and EU work together in concert. It's fantastic. Now, Gwyn, that was his...
Oh my God.
That's there for the taking. Any other day, Gwyn finds that kill. He uses the tailwind to reposition in a way that Som is forced to flick to him, and he still makes it happen. Stunning work from Som.
Yeah, Som even though that kill came from the A main, and he looked towards A main still, you might think that the dash, he went back into the smoke for a win. So good on Som to keep spraying into that smoke, and even better for him to get the reaction shot. Just thankfully, I don't know, man. He for sure got hit at least 3 or 4 times through the dice boxes, where it should have been a kill for a win. But sometimes that spray, with any ARs in this game, you count your blessings for sure that Som won that one.
I'm quite sure it's a sigh of relief that escapes the lips of NRG here as they snatch around back and make the economy situation a little interesting. Still, Gen.G want to play fairly aggressively here. They have a lockdown, so they want to try and take control of B main, and they do so. Sean may not want to telegraph his presence yet with the use of the Empress, especially given that it may not offer him too much in return. And here's market control. Android playing sort of fairly safely, probably knows now where Gen.G are approximately playing, but they have to keep going.
Oh my.
No one detained there, so now NRG are ready for a retake.
Yeah, and they don't have any ultimates to try to take this back, so they have to try to go for a kill and potentially a neural theft. And now there was one that was spotted here from or a dart or a camera, but there's still not enough information of where Gen.G is currently placed.
Been died in mid, but it's too far, I think, for Daps to go and use neural theft. He'd rather stay in camera. Sean has a good angle here. The cloud burst makes it hard for him to see, but he should catch a glimpse of everybody at the same time. Okay, still having to find a kill though. Those cloud bursts all drop at the same moment. Shanks finds 2 and Android gets rid of Gimon, and that is the end of Kusta. Nice retake from NRG. Granted, a player advantage there, but still rather awkward to navigate that situation. But they get exactly what they want, Vansili. They get multiple players looking at Arena.
This is where it would be a perfect opportunity to advertise Aim Labs or something, because it was a moment of reflex for any of these players. As soon as any smokes, any cages that went down, it's a flick to a headshot to see who's going to win for who. and it turns out to be NRG in the end when you had great placement for Gen.G on that pulse plant. And the thing is, Gen.G played that perfectly to get into the B site. They had a chess battle from a Cyber Cage from Daps and then a Nanoswarm into B main to prevent Daps from pushing forward and trying to break that ult, the Killjoy lockdown, to allow Gen.G to get into the site. The utility was perfect for both of these teams. But again, sometimes, well, most of the times, how this game is meant to be played is not about the abilities, it's about the shooting, of course. And it turned out to be in favor of NRG.
Gunplay first. NRG don't want to engage in too much of that early in the round, despite the fact that Shanks was peeking a little bit there, but nothing too convoluted. No abilities used there. Gen.G really bide their time. And they check wine every single time. And that's called due diligence there. This has got a nerdy lineup here. Might go to Heaven. Okay, very cheeky. EU is a little bit disgruntled as he's forced to move away from his chosen position. Mikhail gets in between Daps and the rest of the team, but no one can account for this from Shanks. Peeks in for 2, Gwyn's able to shut him down, but the damage is already done. The spike is dropped at Wine. I mean, and the rest of Gen.G, they are AWOL.
They are playing straight into Gen.G's in-your-face playstyle with the smokes coming down. So it's, you've seen for a couple of rounds already, it's been Sean leaning the helm with the Leer and trying to get entries, and it's been paying off. This time, when you have these smokes to try to cover things and cover the entrances or the entries that they're trying to take, NRG actually walks into those and are ready to fight back. This is something where potentially now they're going to start understanding. You might see more sprays through the smokes between these players, but this is great adaptation for NRG in this first half.
Patience for Som pays off. Kuster in a 1v2, but doesn't have the time to work his usual clutch wizardry, so he'll have to settle for kills at the end of the round. All but Android will fall, but still, it's a crucial round that NRG pick up, and that is 3 in a row for them. And now the bank gets broken on the Gen.G side.
Yeah, but as the bank gets broken, you're still at 4 rounds right now, right, for Gen.G? Out of 9 rounds being played, you're moving into the, out of 10 rounds being played, you're moving into the 11th round now, right? So it's still pretty good.
On air, Van Silly.
It worked. See? 10th round going to the 11th. 6-4. Finally. I've done it right, Chad. I've done it right. But Gen.G, let's see what happens. I mean, the money's broken, but not that much. Quinn has enough for the Bladestorm, and the rest of them are on rifles. So this is still very doable for Gen.G, but they have a lot of ultimates from both sides, but still favors, in my opinion, Gen.G at this point because of that Hunter's Fury.
Gen.G, as a correction, still have decent money to work with there. And I think Quinn was able to buy a rifle for Sean.
Yeah, that could be a possible take too, yeah.
I think they only had he only had like 3,200, so it would have been tough for him to buy all of that stuff. Owl drone comes out, spotted, and that's annoying. Always annoying for an operator player to have to do that. That actually forced a positional change there from Shanks, but he can move now back into that same spot. This could be interesting. It's definitely going to be a case of Knives versus Shanks. Okay, again, that's a re-clear. That forces Shanks once more out of that position. Now Quinn can get up a little bit closer with these knives. Som fighting his bottom lip, but Quinn descends from above. Shanks is going to go for some knives of his own because he realizes he needs to get his hands dirty as well. Mikhail falls, and we have a 3v3. Dark cover on Shanks, and you know he's considering peeking this.
Yeah, and even Quinn ran over and picked up the gun left behind by Soms and got that kill with that.
Neural theft, not really an option here. All of the corpses are on the A site proper, and Daps is a long way from there. Okay, Recon Bolt, slight confusion from Gimon there as he has to be careful of bullets raining through the roof. We'll reassume that hell position, and EU does not need to pick up that operator here. He understands that. 3 players for Gen.G still to deal with, and Kusta's playing in a really far out position. 2 versus 1. EU is caught with the bowstring taunt, and Kusta teaches him a lesson.
And I thought from the way that the spike was planted, it wasn't really there for Kusta. I think it was behind Jenny, right? And he was still looking towards tree side. So there was a scenario.
He was watching like a flank.
Exactly. And there was a scenario if they both dropped down for NRG on a retake and they both got those simultaneous kills with trades, as they're usually pretty good. For those, it would have been definitely very hard for Kusta to try to get that. But I mean, Kusta is another one of those clutch masters that ever since he made the switch into this game, and we've seen the highlights of what he's done to help Gen.G qualify into the closed qualifiers, it was still actually could have been anybody's round in the end. This matchup is very even for both of these teams.
Yeah, you have a lot of these like really fantastic head-to-head matchups, right?
Yeah.
Across both sides.
Definitely.
Sean versus Android is obviously a big one. Quinn and Shanks. Can't ask for much more than this.
Yes, Sean and GMD when GMD's or Sam and GMD while GMD's also IGLing this. He's one of those Omen players, IGL straters that could still put the numbers up, and that's very rare to see.
Mikhail gets rid of Shanks. That's in A main here, and Gen.G still up to pull out of that position. This means Android doesn't actually get the backstab that he wants, so unclear if this is really red, but Mikhail doesn't get far enough away. Here's a lockdown on B. Again, relatively loosely held here by NRG, but Gen.G are very slow about this.
Yeah, they can't really cap on this. Okay, never
Sean
mind.
being in this position, that's pretty devastating for NRG here. Sean's in a great spot, and yes, Daps realizes it now with nothing but a Bucky. Kusta gets up in his face.
Oh,
Here's that plant.
what is going on?
I mean, tons of backstabs, a lot of weird action happening there towards B main. Kusta, spray is good. And now, surely this round settles down just a little bit. Som gives his position away by getting rid of the turret. And the dark cover obscures his view. And a swarm. Bit of a tickle there, not too much to worry about. It's the 3 players on Gen.G. He needs to get through. There's one. The second proves too much. Win shuts him down. Let's take a break, Van Silly now. The half is 6-6 here, and Gen.G be pleased with that one, getting some really solid rounds on the attack. Let's see what NRG have in their back pocket after the break. Six attacking rounds for Gen.G on historically one of their shakier maps in recent history. They're very pleased with that result. That last round was bizarre, but the fact of the matter is that NRG didn't really have too much weaponry to work with, and a lockdown eventually forced them off the site. Let's see eventually what NRG can provide. They go to the attacking side, and Android, he's still chugging along nicely here at 12-7.
Yeah, and right now it's just a battle of A side control, a Shark Dart that already came out early, but it doesn't do much damage, so even there's a one-way, you're trying to capitalize this right now for NRG. They're going for eventually a super fast split into the A side. This is why you had the door closed so early for Mikhail.
Yeah, we heard that one happen there as well, so that will buy a little bit of time. Not that much, though, because Android now realizes that there is a recon bolt in the foliage. Shanks at pretty extreme range is going to get rid of Gimon there with the Frenzy, and Som should get this spike down pretty comfortably, but here come the reinforcements. Kusta from above. Oh, curveball, really hard for him to deal with there, as Android was going to hold down inside Hill. And it's just the one player left here for Gen.G. It's all on Quinn.
Wide swing Frenzy on top of that.
No good. Android plucks his head off.
That was pretty crazy, because a wide swing Frenzy from Kusta that hit away from the curveball. I think it was only half blind onto that one, but Android, while he drives by with that ghost, is still able to tap it in the face and win that fight. And you saw that Android was partially blinded when he threw that curveball out. You saw that icon in front of his face. Now he's sitting at 14-7. He's the one that's really helping NRG push forward here on this defender side. And now that as they take the attack, as you want to use him as the entry fragger, this is definitely going to help into their attacker side now.
Daps has been put in a weird position as he's really not ever been successful on any of his sort of late lurks and tends to have been caught out a lot by Sean. 1 kill for him so far. And okay, there's a second. Nicely done. He receives the push from Quinn. He gets 2. So eventually he is run down, but I mean, NRG get what they came for essentially. They get rid of 2 players and they kind of know that, well, all right, we're over on towards the A site with us now.
Yeah, you're surrendering a Death and a Spectre for 2 kills, an open site, a plant, and even better pulse plant position. You're definitely okay with that. And as we're calling out Daps for his ratio, his KDA, still good enough because he's been good enough to get the information for his team to allow players like Android to activate.
Thanks, this is one and done. He can dash away, so he does. Cuts Gen.G down to 2 players now in the absence of Kusta, and Som is in that weird position. No one really checks the top of Jenny, so if an Omen can get a post plant after Shroud stepping up there, usually it's good for 1 at least.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This composition that you have here for NRG versus Gen.G, you're okay to play on the top of that generator because the paranoia usually gets thrown towards tree, towards default, where it doesn't really connect onto you if you're on the top of the Jenny. And what else do they have? They don't have any curveball. They don't have any flashpoints. They only have Leers on a retake where that could get immediately shot off, and you could still hold that same position.
There's no camera as well from heaven.
Exactly.
So you can't spot that position.
So you're in a really good spot to play that.
This time much slower for NRG on the A side. When forced back by this dark cover and slowly NRG try and extend their tendrils into the middle part of the map.
Okay, so every time they do that, they actually even close the door too. So even if it's going to be very aggressive for NRG where they could get caught with their pens down towards A main, they just want to make sure that the execution, when the smoke comes out on the cross, they could just spray it themselves from tree line.
Trying to pave the way here for the impending push. Gen.G. Kusta in mid though. Som's down. Quinn deals with Shanks pretty comfortably there, and Sean has a Leer. This could be a problem for Daps. He'll need to hide back around the corner. Curveball at top mid for Android. NRG really split right now. Gen.G have taken this opportunity to extend their map control drastically, but Sean wasn't ready for that. Daps with 14 health pushes into his own cyber cage. And now it's a 3v2. And Gimon says, no thank you. We're going to take this round. Gen.G, I get 7.
Not too bad, though, for NRG here. Getting 2 kills on that bonus. I love Daps' play around that cage. It really caught Sean off guard, and you saw mechanically getting that kill, going to the camera, tags Kusta. So that was going to be a very tough 1 versus 1 for Kusta, too. And you wanted EU to try to get that backstab, get that flank, but Gen.G's aware of this. All these lurk plays that came out from the other players from NRG, and Gen.G's aware. They're ready, and they want to make this a close game.
Despite neural theft being available for NRG, they're not poised for any early aggression necessarily. Might be some on the B side, but they'll be coming from Gen.G. Yeah, Kusta there just making a healthy amount of sound as he leaps into that cyber cage. Yep. Now, Kusta, just bear in mind, you're the only team with a Reyna. Hey, look, you never know, right?
I mean, he only recently changed, I guess.
Som just got backhanded by Sean there through the middle of the map. That relieves a huge amount of pressure, but maybe they're not expecting the rest of NRG to also plunge into this part of the map. They're trying to encircle this B side, but Sean just keeps staving them off. Okay, for real. Android finally able to take the Tyrant down, but in the Empress's wake, there's still 4 players left for Gen.G. Blaze Wall used. Okay, a little bit of info there. It is a pretty short-handed sight. That is filthy. That is just some individual prowess there from Gen.G.
That's definitely one of the good positions where you can play Reyna towards the map on Ascent on defense. I mean, right now when you're trying to play Reyna towards A main, you could maybe get one of those off angles and those kills and dismiss. But as the site is so open right now on the A side, as you can see in this overhead view, it's very hard to escape by throwing your Leers away, especially if you have somebody eventually like Shanks that could dash in when they break the Leer right after, right? So playing towards the B side, being able to use a staircase, the shed to get that cover instead, it's a very strong position where Sean could play it.
Knives are out here for NRG, and they lead the way with the Al drone. They had to be ready for any angle here. Quinn trying to get away. He does. Curveball to try and pursue. Nothing. Everyone's piling in here. NRG are realizing, okay, we need to keep forcing, because eventually we're going to find something. Whether it's sunk cost fallacy or it's a good degree of aggression, We're about to find out.
There's that position again. So no curveballs, maybe 2 Leers on a retake and a dart. So you really want somebody like Android who's inside the site to try to break it down. But he was just holding the position to make sure the spike was planted. Now they change on different post plant positions.
Shanks was mid-air with that one there, able to clean up Mikhail. That kill is traded out, and this actually gives Gen.G some degree of control. Providing that Som doesn't cause problems here with this backstab, yeah, this could be brutal now. The Killjoy ultimate goes down. Gen.G, you're in control, and Som was a little too late. Just a little too late, Van Zilli.
And now a half buy that, you know, doesn't come out into much fruition. You get 1 kill with it. You were hoping a second right click you get a kill for Shanks just to make things a little bit more expensive there for Gen.G. But Gen.G are still looking very good. GMD is already almost maxed out. Even into the next round after this buy, he's going to be maxed out. So he might buy for one of his teammates here just to make sure that the economy gets equalized and that they can continue on in a few rounds with these buys. But yeah, definitely you're okay with the spike plant. You got max bonus, 2,900 plus that 300. Not going to add that up together live. It's now going to be NRG back on the attack.
Actually easier than the other kinds of maths you try and do. But, so I'll let that one go. NRG, look, at least had the buy here, Van Zilli. This is pretty crucial. They lose this round and they are in dire straits indeed. Mikhail and Shanks both fall by the wayside. Dimon gets rid of Android's runner back there, but it's going to be a quick plant for NRG. So let's see how quickly the retake gets put together. Daps, again, not ready. Even if he was, maybe just dealing with 2 players there would have been tough. Gen.G are wise to play the retake here with 2 of their biggest players on the other side of the map, but now they come home. The Prodigal duo, and there's a chance here to unravel NRG, who only have 3, and they're all sat in A main.
Yeah, A main, the smoke's going to come out. You got a couple Leers. Their utility is going to be great for Gen.G for this retake.
Quinn, playing around the cloud burst here. Kusta, this is the very direct approach I guess you could take. Getting rid of 1 there is fine. Gen.G are happy to trade kills at this stage.
No
Curveball
way.
again. It's another trade. They put Som on his own now, and time is of the essence. Sean going for the defuse, but Gimon puts his body on the line, allows Sean to get the defuse. And now NRG, not in a good place. Their money, rough.
I really like that push there from Kusta and from Sean, the way that they play their B side. Because when that attack happens towards A, you see how fast they are moving out from that B main. And that could be one of those scenarios where you use Sean, the first one to be at the point, get a kill, get a dismiss, die, get a trade, a Leer to peek around the corner, just to make sure that you have a faster retake for for Gen.G moving back into the A site. And when that happened, just push into the smokes. I like the idea from Kusta. You have the numbers advantage. You want to get more information to play through that smoke.
Okay. Tries to whip out the judge there, but Android is jury and executioner, apparently. I mean, this is a round where NRG also, they kind of half buy into it here, maybe force him to a degree. So, kind of surprised to see such aggressive play. Android's like, wait, judge? Really? I saved money for this? Okay.
I'm sure they had to be a paranoia as you see Mikhail is holding back towards that tree side. So they definitely threw that forward. They tried to get more information with a dart or an owl drone that basically helped Gen.G Quinn to move forward and try to get a couple of kills. I'm not sure if he actually even had knives out or something like that and missed a right click or something, because you see how it's activated. Well, you're going to have to see into the next round if the right click missed, and he's at 0-6 right now in his Blade Storm.
Gael is ready for a push. This comes out, the first sight of NRG trying to work. Looks like that gets drawn out of him a little earlier than he otherwise would have liked. So now Gen.G won't be able to ping the push onto the point. Gimon going to wait inside the smoke. That timing is astonishing! 3 for Gimon. He finally gets shut down, but it's still a 2v1 for Gen.G and the spike. No, that hasn't been planted. The spike sat on the ground. NRG, heads in their hands. And Android was their last hope. Absolutely shredded.
Gimon has one of those moments where he just pops off as an anchor player, Omen, wherever he wants to be. And those were 3 crucial kills. Leaving Android by himself, yes, maybe doable. But the weapon that he picked up was only a judge. So that doesn't really help out on distance on him trying to attempt of a clutch. And let's see right here. So you have Win at 0-6, so definitely. So that idea that you have from Gen.G on that previous round was definitely a right click or daggers going in from the Blade Storm with the combination that they had from Tree, from Gimon, and also from the Sova being played here by Mikhail that failed. But at least they still come back strong and now lead by 3.
win round for NRG here. And once more, they up the ante, they buy in. Dark cover. No, thank you. They're still going to try and push that one regardless. Power. Oh my! Win puts that to a stop awfully quickly. Still NRG able to get onto the side. Android finally makes his way through that dark cover. Okay, and so Daps holds onto that neural theft, and now NRG know where Gen.G are, at least for the time being. Quinn shakes off the euphoria from that earlier kill because there's still much more work to be done.
Yeah, they still have a bit of utility on this retake, so you're just clearing out as much as you can with the nanoswarms. You have the leaders that should still be available for Sean, but they're in great position for NRG here.
Cloudburst is too slow to actually stop the ping from the recon bolt, so Quinn is revealed on Heaven. Akusta's already moved up to Jenny. They gotta try and dig NRG out of hell. There's no way they're getting out. Not even the pearly gates would get them from there. It's NRG to pick up a round. They had to win that one now, and they recover an operator as well. So Shanks gets his hot little hands on that one.
and that was the thing that could have shattered Gen.G's dreams on that hold, is the fact that Android came in with the run it back to get the entry and also allowed Daps to throw a neural theft. So like I said, he's at 6-18, but he's had the crucial play and role and responsibility to get the information for NRG. By getting that neural theft and seeing that they're all towards spawn, they could rush back into the site, play double health, and just set up that perfect crossfire for the pulse plan. So it's not over yet. NRG, they win a couple of rounds here, and Gen.G is going to be on a broken bye, and then we're going to have a close game once again.
Som trying for a bit of misdirection there as he shrouded steps to same location. Tower drone from Mikhail. I don't think it even spotted Som there playing from Link.
Oh, they're pushing down. They want this fight.
Tom again uses his second shrouded step to try and imply that he's gone across the gap, but he's still in Link.
It seems as though they're feeling this right now because the nanostorm has already popped out early, so they might have a feeling that the hit is still going to be towards this B side. Everybody rotated from NRG.
I think it's nerves. I mean, they got no info. They pushed down mid from both of those players for Gen.G. Doesn't really yield any data, so maybe you're sat on the side. Okay, Sean for one, Sean for two. Doesn't have a chance to do much for the soul orbs there, so Android is finally able to shut that down, but the damage, it's been done.
Yeah, and on top of that, you drop the spike, right? So now you're going to have Shanks trying to open in with the with this operator, but they still have the nanoswarm.
Shanks going for it, gets absolutely plastered to the wall there by Kusta. Well and truly ready. And Gimon just bides his time, peeks out around the corner, and EU now is in a unwinnable situation. Or is it? Yes, it is.
I actually do like the position from Kusta with that Killjoy turret, because sometimes I play Killjoy and I put her put the turret all the way back towards that sidewalk hallway so that it still spots them. But from the way that Kusta puts it, it's in a close enough position where if you're trying to dash as the jet, you're going straight into it, and he's hiding right behind it to have basically an extra set of armor in front of him, and he's spraying through that smoke to get that kill versus Shanks. That's a small little variation of how you want to play that site for Killjoy to be able to anchor the sites. That was very well done on his end.
Especially, obviously, at sort of medium ranges, the right click has a lot of spread on those knives. There's no guarantee you'll be able to connect with your intended target. Very aggressive from Gen.G. They don't want to give up A main, but Mikhail on his own doesn't really have the equipment to stamp their authority on that part of the map. So, back to the site, Gen.G fall. Sean won't be revealed by that recon bolt. And we'll have a sick angle here. That is not okay. Hunter's Fury now is more frustration than anything else from EU because he realized he's stuck in this animation for now and he's all on his own. That'll be it. And what a way to finish the match. Flawless for Gen.G.